I one of the worst things that I've known about football is there's in each position there's something that can horribly go wrong, and like offensive line is definitely like concussions and head. Like I know personally people who lie about the amount of concussions they have when they because they play offensive line, and like you can't have 11 concussions and still play football. I know people who like have had countless concussions who are like, yeah, but I just lie, or like who like when they're taking the concussion test, they're like, yeah, I'm not gonna pass this. So they like not that they cheat, but they find a way to pass it and stuff.
That's
And it's
insane.
like, bro, and it often like, dude, Matt, like you play since you were like what 5 till like these professional guys 35,
Right.
30 years of just head banging, just grown men, just head to head, every single play, defensive lineman, offensive lineman hit heads,
That's yeah.
and
I
you're
didn't even
just
think
like,
about that, but like from the perspective of starting when you're 10 or whatever, and then playing for 30 years, basically, just getting your head smashed by a bunch
yeah,
of huge ass dudes. Yeah,
it's the equivalent of like boxing for 30 years. No one
every
boxes for
every
30.
week
Yeah, every week
match
for 30
every.
years
Oh my god.
for like, and then practice and everything, you still headbang. Like it's just like, dude, it's like there's no way it's good for you.
It's not. And I
No.
think that people aren't really aware about that. Like people just watch football like this
Yeah.
is
Yeah, and I love football, but it's just like, bro, like there's a lot of things that rugby is way safer than football, and they don't wear pads because no one's gonna lead with their head when you don't have a helmet on.
exactly.
And it's like no one thinks about that. It's like, dude, but you're making it so they hit each and they're trying to make more rules about head to head, but dude, they don't do anything about
Yeah.
offensive linemen.
Yeah, they can't really. I mean, you can make as many rules as you want to, but it's not ever going to stop the problem, in my opinion. I don't think it'll ever solve anything, to be honest, because you still see head to head happen all the time. It's a rule, but people just take the flag and take the fine,
Yeah.
whatever they have to do.
I've seen some crazy hits in my life too. I've taken a I've been run over, I've been smacked and stuff, but like I've seen some crazy hits and I've hit some people. And I know that like when you hit somebody super hard, especially because I always hit them on like kickoff or punt or something, which is like the most dangerous play of the game when two people are just running. And like when I having was like when like returners are running out, I just remember I just ran full speed at him. And like I know the feeling what it's like to just have your head ring. And I'm like, I cannot imagine what it's like to do that every single play. Like they do it every single play. And like
Against
some of them,
300-pound dudes,
yeah.
like,
Like have you ever had your bell rung before?
yeah,
It's like, dude, you're like literally in a state of like, I don't like you
shock,
can't think.
right? It's like a state of shock. It's weird.
And like even quarterbacks to an extent, like they get hit. Like if you're on a bad team, bro, good luck. You're gonna get your bell rung quite a few times, and you still gonna have to make those calls. But it's like, dude, the amount of times you get like, okay, let's be real, like positions like linebacker stuff like that, running back, offensive line, linebackers have to have their bell rung at least twice a game,
At least I think.
even in like minor. And so like let's think about twice a game for a season of 16 games. That's 32 times you get your bell rung, which means that's probably about 50 times your brain is shaking in your head.
Yeah.
So that's 50 times just in 1 year. Nobody should have, and that's not even including practice. Nobody should have their brain swirling around in their head 50 times
No.
ever.
That sounds horrible. I mean, I think it's I think what you were going along the lines with like they still have head to head and like they're making rules about it and stuff. Like all of the I would guess you could say bad things that happen in sports. I feel like no one really cares besides the people that are in the sport. Like there's a lot of exactly there's baseball. Like I'm trying to think like the pine tar rule. Have you ever heard of that? Where you can't have pine tar too high on the bat because George Brett hit a home run like hell long ago and he had too much pine tar. Like, do you think people at home really care about that? Do you think people care about people want to see people get hit in the head from like in football and stuff? Like people want to see that head to head huge hit. And I think it's just I don't know, it's mind boggling to think that the people that sports don't affect or it doesn't affect them personally doesn't even matter.
It's crazy to think about like how much steroids were used like in the past.
right? That's
Like
insane.
people are, I don't care who you are, people are better athletes now because they can do things that people could do on steroids in the past, but not if they weren't on steroids. People are better athletes now. LeBron James exists and he has probably never taken steroids.